Watch Dogs Legion might be the most ambitious Ubisoft game in years. Louise has played it. Here's what she thinks. So Louise, Watch Dogs Legion, which I am very excited about because it sounds ridiculous and brilliant. You've been hands-on with it. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, so I'm going to say this straight off. I am so excited about Watch Dogs Legion. So Watch Dogs Legion takes place in London. It takes place in post-Brexit London, so it's very politically up-to-date, or potentially a little too politically up-to-date, in this world where this is very much a police state. Lots of jobs have been replaced by sort of automatons. There's drones going overhead in London which are delivering things or acting as police or security. People are being kept away from each other in camps. It's not a terribly nice time to be alive. So
doesn't sound great.
No, it's not great. It's not a great time to be a Londoner, to be quite honest. You go to somewhere like Trafalgar Square, and instead of it being all lovely and touristy and full of pigeons,
all the pigeons have got guns.
Yeah, with all the tiny guns. No, but it's basically an entire area of people have been protesting and tents and all kinds of things. So this London is not a happy London. Basically, this is a London, and it's interesting. It's a London that is in need of a hero, Matt. It needs a hero. But
where are you going to find a hero?
Where are you going to find a hero? And the amazing thing about Watch Dogs Legion is the fact that the entire city can be heroes. Now, when it was leaked, we didn't quite believe that you could play as any NPC, that you could play as anyone in the world. And I can tell you...
Because then they stop being NPCs, right?
Exactly. They automatically aren't NPCs anymore. The amazing thing about this London is whether you're walking around as the pensioner Helen, who is way up on her hacking and drones, or whether you're playing someone young, or whether you're playing someone with a gun, or whoever you see in the world you can focus on, whereas previously you would just focus with your mobile phone on other people, and you'd normally use that hacking in Watch Dogs 2 to empty their bank account or maybe send their car off in the wrong direction. But now what you can do is you'll find out information about them. So if you lock on to any person in London, you'll find out their name, you'll find out what they do, you'll find out if they've got any special skills. Maybe they're good with drones, maybe they're a doctor, maybe they're really good with grenades, maybe they're great with machine guns, maybe they've been on a bear hunt. All of these things it'll tell you, and it won't just tell you that, it'll also tell you what they're up to. So it'll say out for a drink with their wife until 1 o'clock, and then they'll do the next thing on their schedule. So everyone has a set route, everyone has a story, and everyone has their own experiences. And they all have their own experiences of DedSec. Now, DedSec is the hacker group that we've played as in Watch Dogs 1 and 2. And basically, instead of one hero, you will play as DedSec. And DedSec is made up of multiple operatives. Now, these are people that you hire. So what's interesting is you'll maybe go and you'll look at someone and you'll think, I want them for DedSec. And there'll be a gauge as to how on DedSec's side they are. So maybe they're pro-DedSec, maybe they're rebels, they don't like the state, or maybe they really do like the state and they're very suspicious. So what you can do with them is you can actually do missions to make them less suspicious of you, and to actually then hire them into DedSec and become one of your operatives who you can then play as. And if you then choose to play as them, whether there's 5 big stories across the whole game, 5 sort of sprawling stories, and regardless of who you are, what you're wearing, those cutscenes will have those characters in them. So
that is incredible.
It's astonishing. I hired
from a city of thousands of people?
It's ridiculous. So this city that's full of people, you can, and it was speeded up for my demo, being able to hire them immediately, because it was nice to be able to sort of switch from the sort of pensioner to someone a little more limber, although I will say that the pensioner that I was playing as, she wasn't quite an assassin, but she was climbing. It was amazing. She was great. And it's
in like a sort of, an old lady's dress and a handbag and a
absolutely,
headscarf.
and a hat. And it was great because we went to Scotland Yard, and I stood outside as her, and it is very like, it is, it's, if you've played Watch Dogs before, then you know that you can hack into security cameras and flick from security camera to security camera so that you can see exactly what's happening. But it was particularly something very satisfying about sending in this little spider turret while there's a pensioner outside controlling it.
My team is just going to be all grandmas.
Yeah, you could just have
grandmas, taxi drivers, and fruit sellers.
You could have 20 grandmas, and you can choose to play it, non-lethally. You can choose to sort of knock people out.
Grandmas are lethal. I'm sorry, they're going all in.
Murder grandmas. But it was so fascinating to be able to see this version of London. This is a version of London that we haven't seen. We don't get to see London very much in games. I think the last time I played in London was Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which I'm pretty sure they've stolen some of the map from, and probably the Houses of Parliament. But
hasn't changed that much.
Exactly, London's still London, right? But it's this. You can see the existing sort of the tourist hotspots. You go to Piccadilly Circus, you go to Camden Market, you go to all these places. But this is in a changed world. There's super futuristic cars, but they're also kind of mixed in with old British cars. The double-decker buses are really modern, but there's this sort of current of there's food banks and there's armed guards, and this is a very different London that's sort of painted on top of the London that we know. So it's this really incredible world that you recognise things. I mean, if you go around in London, you'll say that's this is that. And another cool thing is you use the London Underground service as your fast travel. So London Underground stations are fast travel, so you can look on the map and you can switch straight to an underground, or you can go into an underground station and then choose which underground station you'd like to go to. And of course,
you have to know which line you're travelling on. Do you get lost?
Thankfully, you do not need to worry about the Bakerloo line or the Hammersmith and City. You don't need to worry about your colour coding. Ubi has made it a little bit simpler. But it's just the fact that you could be playing as anyone. You just choose someone, and the interesting thing as well is these schedules become influenced by the things that you do, so people will change. I mean, you kill someone's husband or wife, and the other person's patterns will change, and they'll go to the graveyard instead of going somewhere else. You will have impacts.
Presumably be a little bit harder to recruit as well.
Yes. One final thing, Watch Dogs Legion has permadeath. So imagine you've got one of your grandmas that you've been playing as, and you've been playing as her for 25 hours, because that's what you could do. You could just choose to play as, they have got it so that you can switch it up. So there are some people that are better skilled. There's 3 sort of main classes. There's a stealth class, which has a cloaking device. There's a sort of gunner, and there's obviously the grandma that we saw, Helen, in the trailer, who was very much drone focused. So it does promote you to sort of play with different types of people. But say you've got your favourite and you've played with them for hours. Hey, maybe you got distracted, or you took a sip of coffee and they died. They are gone. They're just gone. Clint Hawking of Far Cry 2 fame has come along and basically made it so that, hey, previously, if you've had your friends over, you could hand them the controller and nothing could go that wrong. No. Even if you died, you'd respawn a couple of seconds before.
No one's touching my pensioners.
No one is touching your controllers when you've got your army of pensioners on the go. I mean, you might lose Gladys or Ethel. These are your people that, it's an interesting way of getting very attached to these characters in this incredible London that you have complete control over. And it's very, very cool.
Okay, Louise, so that sounds completely amazing. Like XCOM meets EastEnders with lots of little old ladies. I absolutely can't wait to play it and explore London. How long am I going to have to wait?
So it's another 2020 release date, I'm afraid. It's March 6th next year.
Let us know if you're excited about recruiting pensioners in a dystopian future London, and hit us up if you've got any questions at all about Watch Dogs Legion. And please remember to subscribe now and hit that notification bell so you know when our next video lands.